Hello, Hofstra fans. Welcome to the W.B.Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. Anthony Santinello now joined with the head coach of the Hofstra Pride men's lacrosse team, Seth Tierney. Coach, how's everything going?
Great, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
So another big win for your Hofstra Pride this week, an 11-10 win over Princeton in overtime here at James M. Short Stadium. Josh Byrne gets the game-winning goal. Talk about the performance.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few things that we were happy about. To be honest with you, after watching the film, we could have played a lot better. Certainly at the beginning of the game, they jumped all over us, and we didn't come out of the locker room correctly. And then we had some really mistakes that could have been prevented, excuse me, in the clearing game, and we need to tighten those things up. So, overall, you're certainly happy about the win. That's the most important stat. You're happy about how the guys hung in there and fought to the bitter end. We knew it was going to be one of those games. They're a really good team. They're very well coached, and certainly thrilled that our guys got the victory.
You mentioned you didn't come out of the gates too strong. Princeton ended up getting out to a 3-0 lead early in the first quarter. The exact opposite, like the North Carolina game, where you guys got off to a hot start and then North Carolina kind of fought back. What was the motto to the team when you guys were down 3-0? You had to tell them to come back.
Yeah, we really just stayed the course. We knew we weren't playing well, and that's what needed to change. It wasn't any yelling or screaming that was going to change anything. Let's just settle in. Let's get a stop on defense. Let's get a win at the face-off X. Let's get a good offensive possession, and let's start tilting the dominoes going the other way. And fortunately, we got it to a one-goal game at halftime, and I think it was tied after 3, and then it turned into a 15-minute game, and then certainly tied after 4, and then it becomes a one-possession game.
And Josh Byrne has 5 goals and another great performance from him. Everyone on the starting offensive unit scored a goal in that game, but the type of production that you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's a little bit more spread out this week than it was the first week versus North Carolina. I can't tell you our offense isn't predicated around Sam Lenoris or Josh Byrne. It is absolutely not. In the normal way of lacrosse, the attackman could be and might be on the finishing end of a bunch, but certainly it's really how the defense is going to play against us. And for Brian Von Bargen and Corey Hendrickson and Dylan Alderman to get one apiece, those guys, they did a great job. Or in Brian's case, he had 2. Those guys did a great job. So we're thrilled that everybody got a piece. We wanted everybody to get involved. That was one of our mottos earlier in the year when we kicked this whole thing off, is everybody to get involved.
Going back to the defensive end of the field, Finn Sullivan, 9 ground balls in the game against Princeton. One of the players that wanted this win more than anyone for it to beat Princeton. How do you think the defense played?
Yeah, I mean, again, we sent out some text messages that night, because sometimes, you can get overshadowed by a guy that scores the game-winning goal or a guy that makes a certain play. And behind the scenes, we had mentioned, obviously, Jack O'Cannon. He made, Josh Byrne scored the game-winning goal, and Josh made, and Jack made 15 game-winning saves. So we need to make sure that we spread that good vibe around. For Finn to pick up 9 ground balls as a close D guy, also picked a couple off, and just really did a nice job, keeping everybody's composure in the defensive huddles, especially when we were down 3, kind of settled in and went back to our game plan. Did a really good job. Brett Osmond, another good job. Tanner Griffin really played well. Again, our short stick deep middies, we made a couple of mistakes in the clearing game that we'll fix this week. But those guys, they had a tall order because they got some middies that could play over at Princeton.
And now, after last season, 5-9, people are saying that you guys were one of the bottom third teams in Division I. Now you're ranked 9th in the latest Cascade Maverick poll. Do you feel like the target's now kind of switched to being on your back now?
It's hard for me to say this, but we don't really care what those people thought. I mean, again, we read about it, and then we get rid of it. The polls, the things that they were saying about our last year's team. Again, it's about that team in the locker room, our fans that really care a whole lot about our program, our university. That's what we care about. Other than that, those outsiders, again, I know they're drumming up interest for our sport, but right now, again, I'm glad we're 2-0. We need to have a great practice today because we got another one tomorrow night here.
Tomorrow night against NJIT. 0-4 this season are the Highlanders, still looking for their first Division I win as a program. What do you look for in the scouting report against them?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot about us. It always is, but it's going to be a lot about us. We just need to come out mentally with that edge, and winning the little games inside the big game. You know, people were making a big deal about running the ball out at North Carolina with 12 minutes to go in the first quarter and the sideline going crazy. That's a little thing that means an awful lot. That's another possession offensively that we could get, and we don't have to play any more defense if we clear it successfully. So again, it's going to be about the little games inside the big game tomorrow. Travis Johnson does a wonderful job, starting that program off. They've gotten much better since their first year last year, and we need to come out really focused, sharp, and anytime we put those game jerseys on, they represent Hofstra University.
And you guys back at it again this weekend against Georgetown, a team you lost to last year down in D.C. A little revenge on your minds, but it's hard to transition from one game on Tuesday to then go to another one on Saturday against a better opponent.
Right. I mean, again, we haven't done really anything with Georgetown yet. One of our mottos is 200 feet. Let's just worry about 200 feet in front of us. The first 5 minutes of the game, let's let everything settle in. Again, I know we're not going to have another TV show until after the Georgetown game. I want to mention it. But Georgetown's in the distance, and they have a game this week as well. I know they played one of our CAA opponents in Towson this weekend. Other than that, NJIT.
Coach, what's the game plan to come away with a victory early on against NJIT?
Yeah, it's about us. I mean, we got to focus. We have to know that we're playing on Stewart Stadium, and we got to dominate. The ground ball stat. We got to be able to move the ball very well. We got to clear the ball. We got to take a step in clearing the ball, much like we did against Carolina. We got to get back to that. And take our hat off to Princeton. So with that, it's the little things. Game plan, short week, but let's see how it goes tomorrow night.
Coach, the Hofstra Pride men's lacrosse team, Seth Tierney. Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck this week.
Anthony, thanks for having me, and good luck to the men's and women's basketball teams as they enter their tournament play. Go Pride.
Thank you for watching the W.B.Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.